All right, ladies and gentlemen, qualifying coming up right now for the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. First car on the racetrack, the number 12, Cody Norman. Last year's Carolina Crate Modified Series champion. Always a lot of success here at the half mile of Caraway Speedway. A little bit nervous in the pit area earlier today was Cody Norman. We'll see what he can do in that number 12 car during qualifying. He's out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina in the Jerry Hunt Super Centers machine. White flag out, looking for the first time for Cody Norman. 16.904 seconds, 16.904 seconds for Cody Norman. We'll see if he can do it just a little bit better on the second lap. First attempt in the high horsepower modified machines here at Caraway. Lap number one, the fastest of Cody Norman's two qualifying laps, 16.904 seconds. We'll see where that puts him after the 24 cars qualified today for the Mighty Modifieds here at Caraway. Next car coming up, the number 39, the Pace-O-Matic 39, driven by Jonathan Cash. Ryan Newman ran this car at Florence Motor Speedway on March 4th, finished in the 6th spot. Ryan Newman not able to be here today at Caraway Speedway, so Jonathan Cash being called upon to wheel that machine. He has some success here at this racetrack, a second place run back in 2010 in a late model stock car. And right now he goes to the top of the board. 16.489 seconds, 16.489 for Jonathan Cash. Cash, a go-kart specialist in the karting scene. He takes the checkered flag underneath Jeff Button on the flag stand here at Caraway. 16.4. The best time on lap number 2 for Jonathan Cash. Now coming out onto the racetrack. Nice to see this car back with us here in the Smart Modified Tour, the number 18 for Daniel Yates out of Lexington, North Carolina. The Jerry Hunt Super Center LFR Yates spec engine machine. He plans to run the remainder of this season with the Smart Modified Tour. Missed that race couple weeks ago at Florence due to the fact that his crew was servicing some road racing teams in America. White flag in the air for Daniel Yates. Very quick in practice earlier today. 16.574 puts him second quick so far for Daniel Yates in that black number 18 machine. He'll come around for his second lap of qualifying here. A little bit loose coming off the corner for Daniel Yates. That's going to hurt him just a little bit. He'll remain second quick. Lap number 1 quickest for him, 16.574 seconds. Fourth car coming out for qualifying right now. Driver of the number 21 NC. They call him the Cowboy. Dwight Sauls out of Apex, North Carolina. The Randy Renfro Racing Troyer spec engine machine. 3-time champion in the Ground Pounder Vintage Modified Series. Coming out for qualifying. Ran at Florence Motor Speedway in South Carolina on March 4th. Got some laps in that car. You see the stickers on that machine, the 21. Going down the backstretch here. Good old guy. Spent some time with him here this morning. Excited to be running with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Cowboy, 17.401 seconds. 17.401 seconds for Cowboy Sauls. One more time by one of the good old veterans here in the modified ranks at Caraway Speedway today. Just a little bit better for Cowboy, 17.325 seconds. He is fourth quick out of 4 cars. One of the most beautiful modifieds on hand here today. 24 cars strong for the Smart Modified Series. The number 79 of Zach Brewer out of Arcadia, North Carolina. In the Colfax Towing Snapple Walkertown Mill, David Hill Insulation, Hillbilly Motorsports machine. It's a Troyer chassis with a Tony's Racing engine underneath the hood. Zach Brewer looking at Caraway Speedway. White flag in the air, a little bit loose off the corner. Zach Brewer third quick on his first lap. 16.595 seconds, about a tenth of a second off of Daniel Yates in that number 18 machine. Let's see what he can do on his second lap. Zach Brewer has run just about everything here at Caraway, including the Dash Series. Zach Brewer, fast time so far during qualifying, 16.420 seconds. Zach Brewer and the Hillbilly Racing Team on the provisional pole so far early during Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic qualifying. Next up on the racetrack, the 18 VA. That is the 1987 late model stock car track champion from Caraway Speedway and former NASCAR Cup Series champion Bobby Labonte, running with the Smart Modified Tour again this year, vying for the overall championship. Bobby Labonte on his first lap here at Caraway, third quick, 16.452 seconds. So he needs to pick up just a little bit to go after Zach Brewer, who stands on top of the speed charts here early in qualifying at Caraway. Coming to the stripe in that Pace-O-Matic machine, the number 18 doesn't get it done. First lap still quickest for Bobby Labonte, third quick overall so far during qualifying, 16. Oh, wait a second. Scoring just reset itself. 16.378 seconds. Quickest of the cars that have attempted to qualify so far. Bobby Labonte on top of the board in the Pace-O-Matic number 18. Next up on the racetrack, a crowd favorite, especially here at Caraway Speedway. A two-time Smart Modified winner at this fabulous facility. Burt Myers out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, in the Citrus Safe Racing number 1 NC. First lap for Burt Myers, 16.518 seconds. 16.518, a 13-time winner in Tour Type Modified competition here at Caraway Speedway. And Burt Myers to the top of the board, 16.290 seconds. Burt Myers to the top of the board so far during qualifying in the number 1. Now up on the racetrack in a beautiful primer gray 02 machine, former winner in the NASCAR Truck Series, Joey Coulter in that 02 machine, looking for another win here at Caraway Speedway. He's out of Miami Springs, Florida, in the A-Shock Torch Eyewear SRI Performance Fury race car with the H-Spec engine underneath the hood. The winner in the Revolutionary 99 last year away. First lap on the board for Joey Coulter, waiting for scoring to reset here on Race Monitor. Still no scoring time for Joey Coulter. We'll see what it turns up here in just a little bit. Checkered flag waves. Joey Coulter, best lap on lap number 2, 16.575 seconds. Harold Holly, the crew chief on that machine. 6 quick overall so far out of 8 cars for Joey Coulter. Now one of the nicest guys in the pit area here today, making a turn to the Smart Modified, powered by Pace-O-Matic. This guy you don't want to mess with, I can tell you that. The Giant, Jason Poole, late model stock car winner. He's won just about everything here at Caraway Speedway, from street stocks to late model stock cars, and now trying to make his third start in the Smart Modified Tour. White flag in the air for Jason Poole. 8th quick so far, 17.015 seconds. Had a good run here last year, wound up in a wreck, but today trying to get a good qualifying spot. He qualified 10th last year here at Caraway for that race. Jason Poole, best lap on lap number 2, 16.652, still 8th quick for Jason Poole. So far during qualifying, Myers in the number 1 machine, 16.290 seconds. Bobby Labonte is second in the 18 VA, 16.378. Zach Brewer in the Hillbilly Racing third quick. Daniel Yates making his first start of the year in that number 18, 4th quick. And that Ryan Newman drove at Florence Motor Speedway in South Carolina in the season opener. Jonathan Cash, 5th quick so far. Next car now entering the racetrack, Jeremy Gerstner. Jeremy Gerstner in the number 55 machine. Good-looking ride for Jeremy. Has had some success here. He's called the Flying Floridian out of Wesley Chapel, Florida. Jeremy Gerstner on the backstretch, warming up his tires for his 2 laps. 3 wins at Caraway in the SMRS series. A lot of tour type competition here at Caraway for so many years. This has been the home of tour type modified in the Southeast. Now Gerstner on his first lap of qualifying in that 55 machine, a little bit loose coming off of turn number 2. My brother Matthew Dillner in the booth here just giving his hands all sorts of different directions because it's a handful right now for Jeremy Gerstner. 1 lap in the books for Gerstner. 4.3 seconds, and Gerstner is wheeling it here at Caraway. Said qualifying couldn't be exciting. We are live on Flow Racing and Caraway Speedway TV. Jeremy Gerstner waiting for that second lap to come in. Don't want to jump the gun like we did on Bobby Labonte, allowing scoring to reset itself, but it appears as if the first lap will be the quickest for Jeremy Gerstner. As I say that, it finally resets. 16.340 seconds, second quick for Jeremy Gerstner. Coming up on the racetrack right now, number 2 machine, a championship threat this year. Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the Renfro Heating and Air, New Day Motorsports, LFR with a Yates Spick engine in that machine. Brandon Ward, a 3-time winner here in the SMRS series. Very excited about coming back to Caraway, one of his favorite tracks on the Smart Modified Tour. Checkered flag in the air for Brandon Ward. He already did it on his first lap. 16.229 seconds for Brandon Ward. Oh, looks like identical time there on his second lap. Brandon Ward to the top of the board so far for New Day Motorsports here at Caraway. On the backstretch, we've seen this car for so many years here at Caraway Speedway, driven by this guy's father, Brian Lofton, now a 14-year-old behind the wheel of this machine, and he turned some heads at Florence Motor Speedway a couple of weeks ago, had run in the top 5. Carson Lofton looking for a good qualifying run here at Caraway Speedway today. He's got some experience here. He's won in the 602 modifieds. Let's see what he can do during qualifying. Carson Lofton, 8th quick so far on his first lap. 16.551. That car just a little bit loose right now for Lofton. In the field. JB's got the checkered flag waving here. Do a little bit better on his second lap. Carson Lofton maybe just scrubbed off some time when that car got a little bit loose. It appears as though 16.551 seconds will be his quickest time. 8th quick so far for Carson Lofton out of 12 cars. From one Rookie of the Year competitor and challenger to another. Driver of the 07 machine here, Riley Neal. He's got some wins here in limited late models at Caraway Speedway. The real deal is what they call him out of Lexington, North Carolina, in the Lindley Landscaping Walkertown Mill 07 machine. It's an LFR race car. White flag in the air, Riley Neal, 17.21 seconds. 17.217 seconds. He tested here on a couple occasions in this machine, trying to get adapted to the high horsepower world of the Smart Modified Tour. Checkered flag in the air right now. Let's see if he does a little bit better on his second lap. Riley Neal, we're waiting for scoring set here. No, he does not. Yes, he does. 17.033 seconds, a little bit better on time, but not any better in position. 12th quick so far for Riley Neal. On the backstretch right now, this guy has done just about everything at Caraway Speedway but won a race. Bobby Meismer Jr., they call him Farmer Ted, in the number 14 out of Concord, North Carolina, in the Z-Max Boston Reed and Company Real Estate, Chico's Bail Bonds Racing Electronics, Troyer machine, Tony's race engine underneath the hood, one of the best looking machines in the field here today. Bob Meismer, big win in Smart Tour competition. Could it come here today? Bobby Meismer, 4th quick on his first, 0.366 seconds. He's a threat for the pole here. Can he get it done? Bobby Meismer coming to the line, 4th quick so far. We wait for scoring to reset, and Bobby Meismer, fast time so far in qualifying. 0.71 seconds. Very quick for Bobby Meismer out of Concord, North Carolina. Now driving a car very reminiscent of the history of modifieds in the South. A black 07. Satch Worley, Paul Radford. They've driven this black 07 throughout the history of modified racing. Now driven by another Virginian, Dennis Holdren. Dennis Holdren hoping for a good run here today. He has finished third here in the past at Caraway Speedway. White flag in the air for Dennis Holdren out of Roanoke, Virginia. The 07 car, 16.571, 10th quick so far for Dennis Holdren and the parts company. Hannibasson Row Collision Fury machine with a Bob Bruno engine underneath the hood. And he's a little bit better on the second lap. We're not going to jump the gun and call it out. Waiting for scoring to reset. He was 10th quick on his first lap. 6th quick overall for Dennis Holdren. Good qualifying run. 16.395 seconds. Coming to the green flag, this time by the number 15 of Brian Lofton out of Lexington. The L&R Transmissions, Steve's Tires and Automotive, Unique Coatings, Shady Grady Racing, Troyer Machine with that Tony's Race engine. Brian Lofton, more successful here at this racetrack than any other driver in tour-type modified competition. 18 overall wins. So much success here at this half-mile facility in Sophia, North Carolina. We'll see what he can do. Brian Lofton, first lap, 16.327. Oh, so close. 4th quick so far. Checkered flag in the air for the driver of the 15. Let's see what he can do. We're waiting for that scoring to reset. Lofton not with a good run at Florence Motor Speedway, a broken suspension part. 3rd quick for Brian Lofton. 3rd quick with a time of 16.290 seconds. Just about a 10th off of what Bobby Meismer Jr. ran in that 14. You talk about success here at Caraway Speedway. This kid has got it done. 18 years old in that infamous 7NY. Caleb Hetty out of Kentucky, hoping to go back-to-back in the Warrior events here at Caraway Speedway. The defending winner of this race, last year 99 laps. It was such a good race, we decided to go one more lap strong here today at Caraway. The Warrior 100, white flag in the air for Caleb Hetty in that 7NY machine. Caleb Hetty, well quick on his first lap. 16.527 seconds. 6.527 seconds for Caleb Hetty, hoping for better fortune on the second lap. And he's going to get it done a little bit better. 16.305 Hetty, the 7NY, 5th quick overall. I just want to remind everybody, we talk about the success of Caleb Hetty. He's run 7 tour-type modified races here at this racetrack. 7 top 5 runs with that victory last year in the Warrior 99. Now on the racetrack, a driver of the number 22 black and silver machine, Jason Tutterow out of Advance, North Carolina in the Carolina Drilling Tutterow Racing Fury ECR race car. Tutterow with a run that he was not satisfied with at Florence Motor Speedway, hoping for a little bit better fortune. 20th overall at Florence. Loves Caraway Speedway. Coming to this racetrack, high horsepower, basically 2 drag strips with 2 corners. And Tutterow, what is he able to do here? We scroll on the scoring monitor. 16th quick so far during qualifying, 16.750 seconds for Jason Tutterow. From one teammate to the next. Driver number 2, Carolina Drilling Racing Fury ECR car. Jimmy Wallace not with the season starter that he wanted at Florence Motor Speedway. Had a broken suspension in that car, was an early DNF, and now Jimmy Wallace, 5th at 2 years ago in the summer race, hoping for good fortune here today. Jimmy Wallace 16th quick, 16.721 seconds on that first lap. Now coming around in the number 21 off of turn number 4, checkered flag in the air. Can he improve on 16th quick? Jimmy Wallace, tough sell at times. Jimmy Wallace does improve just a little bit, up to 15th quick with a time of 16.628 seconds. After strong at Florence Motor Speedway to start the year, in which he had a top 10 finish. The number 45er, Gary Young Jr. out of Burlington, North Carolina, in the Habit Bar and Grill. That's a place I want to go to. The PSR Products senior-owned car. Tony's race engine powering that number 45 machine. Gary Young hoping for another top 10 run, expecting to challenge for the title here today, or excuse me, this year with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. First lap looks for Gary Young Jr. 12th quick overall, 16.463 seconds. Gary Young is another one of those guys that you don't want to mess with. He's built like a football player. Checkered flag in the air. Gary Young Jr. gets a little bit better. Nice run for the driver of the 45, 16.385 seconds. 8th quick overall so far for Gary Young. Just a handful of cars remaining, and this car was quickest in the final practice session today. Tim Brown to the number 25 out of Canada, Virginia, the Jerry Hunt Supercenter Amsoil Hayes Jewelers chassis. Engine built by Yates, one of those spec engines underneath the hood. He sent it in there into turn number 3. How fast will Tim Brown be? Meismer still on top of the board. 13th quick, a big surprise here for Tim Brown on his first lap, hoping to do much better here. Checkered flag in the air for that second lap, and he does better. 3rd quick overall for Tim Brown. Tim Brown's the type of guy, he won't be satisfied with that because he wants spot numero uno, but still 3rd quick Brown, and we'll see what shakes down for the starting lineup after the redraw here today. But Tim, one to keep an eye on here today at Caraway. Coming to the green flag, the driver of the number 4 from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, Jason Myers in the Carolina Drilling, Greg Butcher Trucking, QRC HVAC and Refrigeration, Gary Myers' own machine, PSR with a Yates engine. Jason Myers, a winner here in 2013 in the NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour. White flag air for Jason. Waiting on score. Jason Myers, 10th quick, 16.385 seconds. Quick. Second lap coming up. Expecting it to be just a little bit quicker for Jason Myers. And it is 6th quick with just a couple of cars to go. 16.294 seconds. Think about this, folks. The top 5 right now separated by just about a 1/10 of a second. Former winner here at Caraway Speedway just a couple of years ago. In the number 24, they call him John Boy, Jonathan Brown, out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and the Amerifast Supply Incorporated machine. Jonathan Brown, this immaculate, prepared race car, one of the best-looking rides in the machine. What I like about it is they call modifieds the machines that live by the chrome horn, and he's got a chrome front bumper on that number 24. Expect him to be really qualifier last year at Caraway Speedway. And Jonathan Brown out on his first. Does he do better on that second lap? Jonathan Brown waiting on scoring to reset here, and he does. Jonathan Brown, how about that? He goes from 12th all the way to 2nd quick for the driver of the 24. 16.216 seconds. Jonathan Brown, 2nd quick. And the final driver to qualify. The 01 machine. The good old guys here in the Southern Pride ranks. Brian Weber. Oh, clipped the curb is what I'm told down. We'll see how that first lap out of Coram, New York in the last option bed. Troyer with a home-built engine underneath the hood. Ernie Ruggiero setting up this race car right now. White flag is in the air for Brian Weber. Brian Weber, 17.948 seconds, attempted to qualify for the NASCAR Xfinity at Phoenix out in Arizona a couple of weeks. Does do a little bit better on his second lap. Brian Weber. First lap was 17.7, well, 17.683 seconds. Brian Weber, 24th quick overall. So as we take a look at qualifying results here, it'll be Bobby Meismer Jr. out of Concord, North Carolina with the top time during qualifying for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic, 16.171 seconds. Jonathan Brown, second, 16.21 seconds. Ford, third, 16.229. Tim, 16.231 seconds. And that Jerry Hunt Super Center machine. Brian Lofton, fifth quick overall. Rounding out the top 10, sixth quick was Burt Myers out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. His brother Jason Myers, seventh quick. Caleb Hetty, the defending winner of the Warrior race here at Caraway Speedway in the 7NY, eighth quick overall. The 55 of Jeremy Gerstner, ninth quick. And Bobby Labonte in the 18 Virginia Pace-O-Matic race car, 10th quick overall. Gary Young Jr., by the way, good quality run for him. A couple of veterans, Gary Young Jr. and Dennis, and 12th quick overall for those drivers. In the Hillbilly Racing ride, got a lot of experience here at Caraway Speedway. That number 79, 13th quick overall. Daniel Yates was on top of the board early on, making his first start with the Smart Modified Tour. 14th quick this year, I should say. 14th quick overall. Jonathan Cash in the 39 car, 15th. Carson Lofton. A lot of expectations for him in today's 100-lap race. 16th quick, Joey Coulter, 17th. Cody Norman making his first Tour-type modified start. 18th quick overall, Jimmy Wallace, 19th. And Jason Poole, yep, the Giant, 20th quick overall. Jason Tutterow, Riley Neal, Cowboy Sauls, and Brian Weber round out the field here in qualifying at Caraway Speedway for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. By the way, coming up in just moments here, Randy, the Pace-O-Matic pit party for the Smart Modified Tour. Racing action on here today at Caraway.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of the Smart Modified Tour, Mr. Bob Dillner, in the house. I'm Randy Pettit alongside my good friend Alan Todd, and we have got a few announcements to make. First of all, we need all Caraway Speedway division drivers. You are needed for your drivers meeting at the start-finish line. All Caraway Speedway local drivers, you're needed at the start-finish line for your drivers meeting. Once again, all Caraway Speedway local divisions drivers, your meeting will begin momentarily at the start-finish line. We want to remind fans that we have a split-the-pot raffle. I see the walking down the front part of the concourse right now. Those signs, ladies, hold them up. Got a little guy down there holding them up too. They are selling these pot raffle tickets, and you can buy one, you can buy a bunch. The more you buy, the more you win, and they'll be splitting that pot today. We've also got a beautiful, this is a really cool mug. John Morton sponsors our bootlegger division, his company Morton Directional Drilling, and he sent me a picture of this earlier in the week. This is a really nice drinking mug. You can use it for coffee or some Bojangles iced tea or whatever you like to put in there. And we'll be giving one of these away as well. And I think we're going to give some more of these away throughout the season. Thank you to Morton Directional Drilling for sponsoring our bootlegger division. And they've got a really nice thermal cup with a lid and everything, perfect for your vehicle morning commute. That'll be given away as part of our 50-50 Split the Pot raffle. Be sure to get your tickets right now. Once again, Caraway Speedway, all local divisions, we need you for your drivers meeting. Caraway Speedway local divisions, we need you to come right now for your drivers meeting.
I'd like to remind all the race fans in the stands also that we have an on-track autograph session. It's set up for 5:45, so we've got a lot of activities to take place before we go to our racing tonight, and it's all designed to bring the fans closer to the racers and the racers closer to the fans. So at 5:45, there will be an on-track autograph session.
Alan, the Split the Pot raffle going on until the duration of the Smart Tour Modified race. After that race, we will be pulling the winner. So if you bought tickets, make sure you stick around for a little bit after the conclusion of our main event tonight, and you might be the lucky winner here at Caraway Speedway. We all can be a winner here next week. Alan, if you live in Davidson County, we'll have a very special guest here, folks. We'll have the mayor of Wahlberg here to lord over festivities here next Saturday night. Davidson County Appreciation Night. Wahlberg, one of the many small communities that make up the fabric of our great neighborhood, Davidson County. And my colleague here, Alan Todd, is actually the mayor of Wahlberg, and we expect some more folks from local government to be here next Saturday night. We'd love to have you here. If you live in Davidson County, you get an $8 admission with proof of your residence. Come on down and join us for some great racing here at Caraway Speedway, and that is next Saturday night. Alan, we've got a lot of great sponsors to talk about here at Caraway Speedway in 2023, and among them, we want to give a shout out to David Daggett and Griff Schewers. They return as the sponsors for the Rusty Hart Memorial event here on June the 29th at Caraway Speedway. They were long sponsors for the annual event. Their support has enabled the event to return to the speed schedule. Daggett Schuler Law specializes in personal injury and disability law, and they reach folks within our audience here in Winston-Salem, Greensboro area. You can give them a call. Their phone number is 800-815-5500, or you can go to DaggettSchulerLaw.com. We appreciate Daggett Schuler being one of our 2023 track sponsors.
Sucker Printing was founded in 1947. They're one of Randolph County's oldest commercial print shops. They're located at 522 North Fayetteville Street in nearby Asheboro, North Carolina. They offer quality printing services at good prices with a mix of traditional and digital printing. For all your printing needs, be sure to call Hunsucker Printing 336-629-9125.
Again, we need all Caraway Speedway local division drivers. You're needed at the start-finish line at the wall for your driver's meeting immediately. All drivers in Caraway Speedway local divisions, we need you at the start-finish line immediately for your driver's meeting. Want to give a shout out to Hank Thomas Performance, serving the racing industry since 1961. Hank was a winning driver, and then he saw the need for high-performance parts. They also provide Sunoco race fuels to us and a lot of folks in our area. Hank Thomas Performance on Dixie Club Road, right on that Forsyth-Davidson line down there. You could step across the street there and go either county. We appreciate our friends at Hank Thomas Performance. You can give them a call at 800-848-HANK. And, of course, we appreciate them being the official provider of Sunoco race fuels here at Caraway Speedway.
Sir Pizza is located on North Fayetteville Street in nearby Asheboro and on Main Street in Randleman. For some of the finest pizza in the area, try Sir Pizza. They've got a full line of great tasting pizza with all your favorite toppings, plus salads, pasta, and sandwiches. If you like pizza, you'll love Sir Pizza. Ricky Sweat Painting. Ricky Sweat Painting is located at 412 Emerald Rock Road in Ashbury, NC, and is a good supporter of racing at Caraway Speedway. For all of your commercial, residential painting needs, contact Ricky Sweat Painting at 336-460-6378. Morton Directional Drilling. Morton Directional Drilling specializes in underground boring for cable, electrical, plumbing, and more. They specialize in trenches, underground utilities, owned by Caraway competitor John Morton. Morton Directional Drilling is located on Bryce Street in Clemens. If you can't catch John at Caraway Speedway, give him a call at 336-671-1849.
Your attention in the Peter area, all Caraway Speedway competitors, all local division competitors, drivers meeting at the Tech Building right now. All Caraway Speedway local competitors, your drivers meeting is at the Tech Building, and it's happening right now if you can make your way there. All Caraway Speedway local competitors, drivers meeting starting immediately at the Tech Building. Well, Alan, here at Caraway Speedway, one of the legendary names, the two-time Busch Grand National Series champion Sam Ard, and he drove a car that was maintained and owned by the folks at Thomas Brothers Country Ham. We're proud to have them back aboard Caraway Speedway as a billboard sponsor, and they are actually racing too. They made their debut in a late model here at our last event, and we want to welcome Camden Thomas behind the wheel of the famous 00, of course made famous by Sam Ard with car owner Howard Thomas. And Thomas Brothers is synonymous with Country Ham, and they also have other great products like pork sausage, bacon, other goodies, and you can find them here locally by just visiting the Thomas Brothers Country Ham offices, or you can go on their website and find the retailer nearest you.
A lot of history with that 000 car. Monk Tate also drove that car. And the Thomas Brothers car, every time it was unloaded, it was known around the pit road area that that was one of the cars you were going to have to deal with. So hats off to Thomas Country Hams for their support of NASCAR racing, their support of Caraway racing.
Fans, we will have your meet and greet with all the Smart Tour Modified drivers coming up in just a few minutes. If you can be patient, let them stage those cars, and as soon as they're ready, we will open the gate so we can get moving with that. We want to remind you that during the local racing tonight at Caraway Speedway, our restart zone is brought to you by Affordable RV, sponsor here at Caraway Speedway. Affordable RV, established in 1992 by two seasoned RV service and sales veterans. They're located just off of Hickory Tree Road. That's exit 100 on US 52. Again, right there, Salem-Davidson County line. We appreciate them sponsoring our restart zone here at Caraway Speedway all season. Another great sponsor, Alan, our Superior Trailer folks over in Burlington. They will be sponsoring our restart barrel in our local racing tonight at Caraway Speedway. Superior Trailer is located on the frontage road, as John Boy and Billy like to say, Plantation Drive in Burlington, just off Interstate 85. And we appreciate Superior Trailer being our restart barrel sponsor here at Caraway Speedway.
R&D Automotive has been a fixture in Ashburn, Randolph County since around 1980. Rudy Jenkins and his staff of customer-oriented service to you for your vehicles. One of the longest-running family-owned repair facilities in the area. They provide excellent service. Give them a call at 336-625-5610 for all of your automotive needs. That is 336-625-5610.
We have a proud sponsor of our Challenger division for 2023 here at Caraway Speedway. And for our folks out of want to pay attention to this one, it's the heartofnorthcarolina.com. Heartofnorthcarolina.com is your gate to all things happening in the heart of North Carolina, which is located, if you drew an X on the map, it's right here in Ashburn, North Carolina. We have the museum, we got the North Carolina Zoo, one of the biggest handmade pottery outfits in the country, and see there's plenty of things to do and see here in the whether you live far away or close by. Alan, there's always a day trip awaiting you here in the heart of northcarolina.com for more information. And if you visit one of those rest areas on Interstate 85 or 220 or however you came in, you can pick up one of their brochures that has a lot of great information. Just log on to northcarolina.com. Probably at a racetrack somewhere, but our friend Brad Smith is proud to equip these drivers with the latest helmets, gloves, safety equipment. And if you're thinking about getting into racing, look no further than Velocita USA, premier manufacturer of racing fire suits, gloves, shoes, and crew apparel. You can contact them locally at 721-5064, or you can contact one of their sales folks, Art, at velocita-usa.com.
Affordable Septic and Grease Plumbing. Affordable Septic and Grease Plumbing is located in Walkertown, North Carolina. Serves the Triad, including Forsyth, Stokes, Guilford, and Randolph counties. Racer-owned Tiger Tommy Neal Affordable Septic, Tank, and Grease Plumbing offers quick, reliable service for your home and business. Call Tiger Tommy at 336-462-6228.
And Alan, my guest on Monday night at one of my two radio programs is the Tiger Tommy Neal, the man that's number one in the number two business, as I like to say. He is the reigning Sportsman Division champion over at the Madhouse, but he will not be defending. He'll be driving one of the Brad's Golf Car Series Modifieds at the Madhouse this year, trying to put his name in history books as both a Sportsman champion and maybe a Modified champion. So be sure and listen in. You can listen on WTOB 96.7 FM in Winston-Salem, or you can listen to WCOG FM 105.3 in Greensboro. You can catch the podcast coming out later, about a week later, and that is Rattling the Roll Cage Pit Stop, and you can hear the number one man in the number two business, the Tiger Tommy Neal, one of my guests. And another one of my guests is here on the property tonight, Tommy Baldwin. Tommy and I had a nice chat about all things cup racing, modified racing, and that'll be on Rattling the Roll Cage at 7:30 Monday night on WTOB and WCOG in Winston-Salem, and Greensboro.
Folks, don't miss the opportunity to listen to those radio programs. Great venue there. You get to hear from the owners. You get to hear from the drivers and other folks that are associated with our sport of stock car racing, whether it's in NASCAR, whether it's in the independent divisions or whatever. But Randy Pettick's got a great venue going on at WTOB and WCOG right there. Tune in on the radio dial. Randy, give them those call letters once again so they know where to tune in at.
96.7 FM in Winston-Salem. That's Monday night at 7 and 7:30, or you could listen in Greensboro at 105.3 FM. WCOG, Monday night 7 and 7:30. Hey, Alan, a lot of folks had to fly in here real quick and make a quick stop on the way into Caraway Speedway, and your number one quick stop is the Ready Mart. They proudly sponsored Challenger number 94, driven by Nicholas. And they have locations in Asheboro, Randleman, Bisco, and Seagrove. Ready Mart, committed, ensuring that our customers have what they need at a great price. Thank you to Ready Mart for being one of our billboard sponsors, Caraway Speedway.
BK Tire and Wheel, one of our sponsors at Caraway Speedway, owned by Tony and Ashley Black. They have been furnishing Caraway with a nice Charger convertible for a pace car for the 2022 season. If you need tires, wheels, or other automotive accessory lift kits, go by and see the staff at BK, and be sure to support Tony Black in the late model division here at Caraway. That is BK Tire and Wheels. Well, Randy, the next one's one. Man, those guys have come a long way. You look for that green and red sign, and you automatically know who it is.
O'Reilly Auto Parts with greater area locations here in Asheboro, and if you live somewhere else, they've got one near you too. O'Reilly Auto Parts, we appreciate them being our auto parts sponsor here at Caraway Speedway. Also want to give a shout out to Jay Hedgecock and all of his employees at Hedgecock Racing Enterprises, another local hero who got into the speed business. And Jay Hedgecock has been at it a long time. If you're looking to go racing and you want to run up front, Hedgecock Racing Enterprises. Well, folks, we are in the final stages here of getting our Smart Tour drivers ready, and they will be at their cars. They've got some hero cards while they last. They'd be happy to talk to you fans. You can get an autograph, get a picture with them. Wish them good luck in tonight's main event. And Alan, we've got 24 terrific teams here and drivers ready to suit up in the big one tonight, the Open Wheel Warriors under the lights for 100 laps here at Caraway Speedway as our main event. Welcome all of our out-of-town guests to Caraway Speedway, and welcome to all of our fans here from the Piedmont Triad. We've got a beautiful night to go racing, and whether you're parked in your car over there, or whether you're making you a good spot in the grandstands, or if you're getting ready to go talk to these modified drivers, we appreciate you being with us here tonight. Don't forget, got some money to give away. They'll be selling split-the-pot raffle tickets all the way up to the middle of the modified race, and we'll be giving away that money after the Smart Tour modified race. And we've got a beautiful special edition souvenir cup commemorating Morton Directional Drilling, sponsoring our bootlegger division here. We'll be giving that away as well. Be sure to get your tickets, and a lot of that money will go to help a really good cause, and the other half will help your good cause. How about that? Sammy's Auto Sales. Sammy's Auto Sales is located in downtown Asheboro on Fayetteville Street, and Sammy Bullins and his crew down there are ready to put you in a really nice ride. They got trucks, SUVs, and vans. Sammy's Auto Sales, they know the area. They'll help you get a really nice ride at Sammy's Auto Sales. Want to also give a big shout out to L&R Transmissions, family owned, and we've got all three generations of L&R Transmissions in the house tonight. The patriarch, Bobby Lofton, his son Brian, and his grandson Carson, who was the 2022 602 modified champion here at Caraway Speedway, are all in the house tonight. We want to thank them for their support not only of the Smart Modified Tour, but of Caraway Speedway here in 2023.
Well, Bob Dillner's here with us. He's with the Smart Tour doing the broadcast for those folks. He's making his way down trackside. He'll be doing on-track interviews.
11246. 9511246. 9511246. You have won to split the pot raffle. Once again, that number is 9511246. You have won to split the pot raffle. I've got the money in my pocket. Come see me. Our first winner is the travel mug that goes to 6506207. All right, Derek, thank you, buddy. You did a
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the mod squad of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Excited to be with you here tonight. A great crowd on hand at Caraway Speedway. Folks filed in on the front stretch, a packed grandstand in turn number 1. And then if you take a look halfway down the backstretch and all the way through 3 and 4, cars, trucks, and campers lined up on the fence to see the cars that live by the grace of God and 600 horsepower. They are even up on the hill in turn number 3, so we are very excited to be here. Chris Williams and the entire Smart Modified family proud to be here at Caraway Speedway tonight for the 77th time in series history. No other racetrack in modified racing has hosted more tour-type modified events in the South than Caraway Speedway. You see all the cars lined up on the front stretch, getting ready for battle here tonight. The Warrior 100 this year. Last year, it was the Warrior 99. It was so good, we decided to put one more lap on the table. So 100 laps will be the distance here tonight, and you can see the machines starting to line up on the front stretch here at Caraway Speedway. A big thank you to Darren Hackett, Randy Myers, everybody here at Caraway Speedway for hosting 2 Smart Modified Tour races this year. We will be back in July for the revolutionary 99 here at Caraway. And these cars put on a show like no other around this half-mile speed plant. 21 different winners in those 76 races. 9 drivers have won these races here at Caraway on multiple occasions. The most wins in a row, Junior Miller. He also has the most wins ever in tour-type modified competition here at this racetrack, and definitely also in the Smart Tour. 23 total wins for the king of Southern Modifieds, Junior Miller. 8 different states represented for the winners of these races for the Smart Series here at Caraway Speedway. And we're excited for this 100-lap affair. You see the drivers, the cars lining up on the front stretch. 24 modified strong here tonight at Caraway Speedway. Next week, we will be down the road or just up the road a little bit. South Boston Speedway, I'll go to Old Sobo next week for 99 laps for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. If you want to see some good racing, head up there for sure and check out the Mod Squad at South Boston Speedway. Let's take a look at the Pace-O-Matic point standings coming into this one. Matt Hirschman, not here, won the opener at Florence Motor Speedway in South Carolina just about a month ago. He leads the points. Burt Myers in the number 1 machine, 3 points back. Caleb Hetty, the defending winner of this race, 5 points back in 3rd. Then Brandon Ward in that 4th spot in the car number 2. And Jonathan Brown, former winner here at Caraway, 10 points back in that 5th spot. All the cars almost lined up, and as soon as we do that, we don't want to delay anything anymore tonight. We want to roll this show on through as quick as it can, and we will start the starting grid for tonight's Warrior 100 at Caraway. While the cars line up, just about set, want to say thank you to Jostens, the most trusted partner in celebrating moments that matter, with their mission resting on 3 simple words: capture, celebrate, and inspire. This thought process has led the Smart Modified Tour to develop one of the most unique works of art in all of motorsports, the Smarty Trophy that all these drivers will be fighting for tonight. From the same company that develops championship rings and trophies for NASCAR, NFL, MLB, and more, Jostens helps us develop the race and championship winning hardware that truly embodies the characteristics of all modified legends, both north and south. To learn more, visit jostens.com. Four more cars up in turn number 4, getting set to take their place in line on the front stretch in front of you great fans here tonight. Remember, we'll be back in July for the revolutionary 99 here at Caraway Speedway, the only track that hosts 2 Smart Modified Tour races per year. All right, let's take a look at the starting grid for tonight's race here for 100 laps at Caraway Speedway for the Smart Modified Tour. What a front row we have, ladies and gentlemen, and if you know anything about modified racing, we have 2 rivals on the front row for this one. Driving the number 25 on the point, on the pole for tonight, out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina. He is a 6-time winner in Tour-Type Modified competition here at Caraway Speedway, Tim Brown. On the outside, Burt Myers, 13 times a winner here at Caraway Speedway in Tour-Type Modified competition. Out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, he will drive the number 1 on the outside of the front row. Brian Lofton, you talk about winning sensation in Tour-Type Modified competition. 18 wins overall for the driver, the number 15 here at Caraway Speedway. And to his outside, 3-time winner in SMRS competition for modifieds here at Caraway, Brandon Ward in the number 2. Starting 5th on the inside of row number 3, driver the number 24, a winner here 2 seasons ago at Caraway in Smart Modified competition, Jonathan Brown. And to his outside, the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner here today, fast time in qualifying for Farmer Ted, Bobby Meismer in the 14. On the inside of row number 4, the Myers family, very famous around this part of the country. And Jason Myers won a NASCAR Wheeling Southern Modified Tour event back in 2013 here at Caraway. He drives the number 4 car and will start 7th. To his outside, the defending winner of the Warrior race here at Caraway Speedway, driver the number 7 NY, starting 8th, is Caleb Heddy. Rounding out the top 10 in tonight's starting lineup. On the inside of row number 5, he just won the 602 Modified feature here at Caraway. Driver the number 55, Jeremy Gerstner. And to his outside, he's a former NASCAR Cup Series champion, but he's also a former late model stock car champion here at Caraway Speedway. Driver of the Pace-O-Matic Cookout number 18, Bobby Labonte. Just outside the top 10, he finished 10th at Florence Motor Speedway to open the season. Driver the number 45 for Gary Young Jr. And you talk about famous race cars, that black 07, driven by so many good race car drivers in Southern Modified competition. Paul Radford, Satch Worley, and now, starting 12th, will be Dennis Holdren. Starting on the inside of row number 7. He's run Dash Series races here, late model races, and now modified races as well in the Hillbilly Racing Ride, the number 79 for Zach Brewer. To his outside, making his first start of this season, the Smart Modified Tour, driver of the number 18, good-looking ride for Daniel Yates. Starting 15th. Ryan Newman drove this car at Florence. Now it's Jonathan Cash's duty to try to get a good finish here in the number 39 today. To his outside, how about this? 14 years old for the driver of number 23, Brian Lofton's son, Carson Lofton, will start 16th. Starting 17th, a winner in the NASCAR Truck Series from years ago. Now a winner here at Caraway in modified competition just last year. Driver of the 02, Joey Coulter. And making his first big horsepower start in the Smart Modified Tour. Last year's Carolina Crate Modified champion, driver the number 12, starting 18th, Cody Norman. Jimmy Wallace has had a few good runs here at Caraway Speedway. Driver the number 21 will start 19th, and to his outside, they call him the Giant, Jason Poole in the 75. A lot of fans right there. Starting 21st in the team car to Jimmy Wallace. In the number 22, it's Jason Tutterow, and to his outside, he has won races here in limited late model competition. Driver the 07, starting 22nd, will be Riley Neal. Oh, that was a big round of applause there for Riley Neal. And on the final row, driver the number 21, starting 23rd in the starting lineup here tonight. They call him the Cowboy, Dwight Sauls. And to his outside, just went to Phoenix to compete in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Driver the 01, Brian Weber. That is your 24-car starting field here tonight at Caraway Speedway. Just moments from firing these 600 horsepower engines in front of a great crowd at Caraway Speedway. Thank you so much to everybody that's here. Want to remind everybody, official partner of the Smart Modified Tour, Short Track Life as well. Check them out, the social media experience, especially on YouTube, to watch some free videos of all the modified action here from the Smart Modified Tour. Folks in the grandstands, I need you with this great crowd we have here tonight. I need you to help me start the engines for these 24 cars. So we're going to count down from 3 to 1 and start them. In 3, 2, 1. Drivers, start your engines. Listen to that sound roar through Sophia, North Carolina, home of Caraway Speedway. 455 miles in length is this racetrack. This is a beautiful facility just outside of Asheboro, North Carolina, known for the North Carolina Zoo. But today, there'll be chaos during this 100-lap race for the Smart Modified Tour. By the way, speaking of Asheboro, North Carolina, some famous race car drivers from Asheboro, two-time NASCAR, I like to say Busch Series champion, Sam Ard, and also former champion of that series, Chuck Bound, just from down the road here. Bobby Labonte telling me earlier today, this place was awesome when he ran it weekly back in the 80s. He used to travel just 20 minutes to come to Caraway Speedway, and now he's back here at this racetrack in that number 18 car with Cookout and Pace-O-Matic on the side. Definitely a threat for the victory here tonight. He'll start 10th. Jeff Button, the flag man for the Smart Modified Tour. He will wave the green flag just momentarily here. Remember, we'll be back in the summer months with the Revolutionary 99. I want to say thank you to everybody watching, both on Caraway Speedway TV as well as Flow Racing. Flow Racing, the official live stream provider for the Smart Modified Tour. By the way, if you want to catch other racing here at Caraway Speedway throughout the rest of the year when we are not here, definitely check them out, carawayspeedway.tv. You couldn't have had a better day here at Caraway. Yes, overcast early, some sprinkles that came down. That cleared way for beautiful, bright blue skies, Carolina blue skies, as I like to say. Good temperatures in the high 70-degree range. And I think the temperatures inside these race cars will be boiling hot tonight as everybody wants to etch their name in the history books as a winner at Caraway or add on to their legacy that has been built through the years with all the modified races that have been held here at Caraway. Doubling up right now. Everybody, time to wave to your favorite race car driver. They are excited to do this here today. Caraway Speedway has been the foundation of modified racing in the South. And fans, this is the 77th time the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic, will compete here at this famed racetrack. Folks, get up on your feet and get out of your seat. It's the Smart Stars salute to you, the best racing fans in America. This is our salute to open wheels, chrome horns, and 600 horsepower. The Mod Squad is what it's known as. This is the Smart Modified Tour. And thank you to everybody from Pace-O-Matic for being the presenting sponsor of the Smart Modified Tour. Look at this front row. Bowman Gray Stadium studs on the front row. Nobody's won more championships at Bowman Gray Stadium than Tim Brown, the champion from 1 year ago. He's on the Pace-O-Matic pole tonight. To his outside, Burt Myers in that potent #1 car. Burt told me earlier today that he has a very good race car, one of the best he's had here at Caraway, and he's a 2-time winner of this series here at this racetrack. So for the 77th time in the history of the Smart Modified Tour, we are ready to rock at Caraway Speedway. By the grace of God and 600 horsepower, it's the Smart Modified Tour here at Caraway. Tim Brown poked his nose out front, but Burt Myers very strong on the outside. Myers takes the lead. He will lead the first lap here during the Warrior 100. Tim Brown in second. Brandon Ward has filed into third in that white and orange #2 car. Fourth, the 15 of Brian Lofton. And fifth place, that black 24 right now of John Boy Jonathan Brown. Brown, last year, fast time qualifier for the Revolutionary 99 here at Caraway Speedway. Brown knows how to win. Won here 2 years ago in Smart Modified Tour competition. But there are so many other drivers hungry for the victory here today. Bobby Meismer Jr. almost went to the inside of Jonathan Brown going into turn #1. Second place is the fight right now. The 25, that orange and white car for the Rocket, Tim Brown. Behind him right now, Brandon Ward takes a peek. Will Brown give him the lane? He does, makes it tight down in 1 and 2. Here comes Brandon Ward. 3 times a winner in the SMRS competition, and Brandon Ward goes to second. Here comes Brian Lofton as well. Lofton trying to get by the Rocket and Will early in this race. Jonathan Brown also battling hard in the 24. He sticks his nose to the inside of Brown in turn #3. Coming off of turn #4 right now. Brown trying to hold steady, trying not to burn up that tire. Everybody racing to get to that end of the first stage here. And that will be lap #30. Bobby Meismer Jr. also going around the 25 of Tim Brown. Look at this right in front of that as well. Jonathan Brown passing Brandon Ward. So right now, Brian Lofton now has moved to second It's Burt Myers, Brian Lofton, and Jonathan Brown, your top three. Bobby Meismer Jr. in the Z-Max car, now up another spot. Tim Brown keeps on falling by the wayside early in this one, trying to hold on to lap 30. Burt Myers leads this one. He finished second in the shootout late last year. He said if it wasn't for Matt Hirschman being so good, he thought he would have won that race for sure. Brian Lofton, you talk about the two winningest drivers in tour-type modified competition at Caraway Speedway. The top two are it, but we look further back in the field. And there's the number 18 car of Bobby Labonte. Labonte trying to pick off some spots here and work his way back to the front of the field. He started 10th. Jeremy Gerstner in the 55 car just won the 602 modified race just about a half an hour ago here at Caraway. Here comes Labonte, 1987 late model stock car champion here at Caraway. Gets the spot. That'll move Bobby Labonte up to 8th right now. Top 10 looks like this. Burt Myers leading over Brian Lofton. Jonathan Brown is 3rd, Bobby Meismer in 4th, and Jason Myers, the other Myers brother, now up to the 5th spot. There you see Bobby Labonte trying to go around Tim Brown. Tim Brown started on the point for this one, and Bobby Labonte trying to pick up another spot to move into 7th. Lots of action around this racetrack. Labonte nice and smooth. Don't know if the handling is not good on Tim Brown's car or if he's just saving his stuff. These teams, when they choose to pit, can only take one tire, and it's their choice of when to pick. Labonte with the run off the corner down into turn number 3. Side by side with Tim Brown, Labonte looking good in that Cookout Pace-O-Matic number 18. He picks up the spot, so Labonte now is up to 7th. Up front, it's all Burt Myers in this one, but Lofton is right there. Both drivers veterans of the Smart Modified Wars. 3rd place is Jonathan Brown, running for the championship here in the 24 this year. And Bobby Meismer, you talk about a sleeper pick here today in that Racing Electronics number 14. Meismer, so good, lurking back in 4th right now. He's finished everywhere in the top 10 here at Caraway through his years of modified racing, but has not won the big dance here in the Smart Series. Further back in the field, some good battles right there. That's 7NY, that potent race car for Caleb Heddy. Caleb Heddy, the defending winner of the Warrior race here at this racetrack. But right now, Heddy mired back in the field just a little bit. Zach Brewer just passed him, so Heddy and the Tommy Baldwin Racing ride back in 13th. Behind that, Carson Lofton. Look at that kid in the red number 23. Just 14 years old, the son of Brian Lofton, one of the masters of modified racing here at Caraway. And Carson Lofton, so smooth behind the wheel. A winner in the crate mods here at Caraway Speedway, trying to pick off another spot. Not a good qualifying effort for Carson Lofton. That car just a little bit off for him in qualifying, but he gets by Heddy. Heddy is in trouble early in this race here at Caraway. There is Carson Lofton's dad, Brian, running in 2nd right now. Knows he's got plenty of time. We are now 21 laps complete in this one. 100 laps the distance. The first stage ends at lap 30 here for the Smart Modified Tour. You can come down pit road and pit if you wish. You don't have to. You choose to pit and take that tire anytime during this race, or technically, you don't have to. But everybody racing right now for that stage win, the Bell Helmet stage win at the end of 30 laps. Bobby Meismer trying to take a shot in that 4th spot at 3rd place, running that 24, Jonathan Brown. We go back in the field just a little bit. Here is Jason Myers. Myers running in 5th. Bobby Labonte wants to break into the top 5, and Labonte having a great run here, moves to the inside. Jason Myers said he has struggled when he told me today the past couple of years on the Smart Modified Tour, hoping for redemption this year to get back to his winning ways in modified action around the South. So back up front now. There's the top three, a little bit more separated than we've seen them here in recent laps. Burt Myers keeps on setting the pace in this field here. Burt Myers, 2 times a winner in smart modified competition here at Caraway Speedway, but he's won 13 different times in tour type modified competition at this famed racetrack. Brandon Ward, we saw him in that number 2 machine move as high as 3rd early in this race, but he has faded as well back to the 7th spot. Tim Brown, who started in spot number 1 for this 100-lap affair tonight, running in 8th in the 25. I think everybody right now riding, hanging out, and we have had a heck of a season here in the Smart Modified Tour, but not because of the number of races we've run. We've had 2 different races, one of them here at Caraway delayed because Mother Nature was not all too kind. Cold weather at Lonesome Pine up in Coburn, Virginia. That race will be rescheduled and announced soon for later in the year. This race was originally scheduled for a couple of weeks ago and now being run on March 25th here at Caraway. Tim Brown to the inside. Tim Brown making a move on Brandon Ward, and that will be the end of Bell Helmet's stage number 1. So picking up the win in Bell Helmet's stage number 1 will be Burt Myers, the driver from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, the Citrus Safe Racing Machine. Looking forward to the season opening up at Bowman Gray Stadium as well, where he will challenge for another championship. But Burt likes his car, has liked it all day long. His son Slate, by the way, ran the 602 Modified show just about 30 minutes prior to the start of this race. Definitely learning a lot is Slate, but a lot of talent behind the wheel, just like his dad, his uncle, and his entire family. Remember, Slate, a 4th-generation race car driver, and we're going to see him in these mighty modifieds sometime later in his career. Jason Poole, the Giant, gets the wave around. First car a lap down, so he gets that lap back. Driver of the number 75 making his first start of the season for the Smart Modified Tour. He has 2 prior starts here in the Smart Series. Big dude, great guy, by the way. A lot of experience here at Caraway Speedway, from street stocks to late models and everything in between. I love the fact that he, instead of calling that a Chevy or a Ford or whatever it may be, these modifieds don't really look like anything. He's got a big old grill of a Peterbilt, a decal on the front of that modified, so he's like a truck, but just a very jolly dude. But I wouldn't want to mess with him. He looks like he can kick everybody's butt that's here in the grandstands here today. Bobby Meismer, by the way, coming down pit road. Meismer, the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner for setting fast time during qualifying in that number 14. Eddie Harvey, the crew chief, calling the shots for that team. Kevin Hughes, car owner. And Bobby announced earlier today that this will be his final full-time season of racing in anything. He has raced, mini stocks to modifieds and super late models, but Bobby Meismer saying he's going to focus on his son Brody after this, maybe even a little 602 modified racing for Brody next year. But he comes off a pit road. You see that car right behind him as well, running very well here. That is Jonathan Cash, I believe, the number 39. Those cars, the 18 and 39, when they're on the backstretch, hard to tell the numbers apart because they look identical. But Jonathan Cash in that 39, right behind Bobby Meismer right there, a go-kart specialist. Used to run some late model stock cars here as well. Back in 2010, finished second here in a late model stock car event. So nice to have Jonathan Cash with us as well. Big friend of Hermie Sadler, a co-owner on the 39 and the 18. By the way, I want to say thank you to Carolina Drilling. Well Drilling Contractor located in Mocksville, North Carolina. They are a leader in both drilling and blasting of the region and are proud to return as sponsor of the Carolina Drilling Blast of the Front Award. This award is given to the highest finishing non-smart tour winner in the final rundown. A special thanks goes out to Jason Tutterow and all the fine employees from Carolina Drilling for their continued support of modified racing. Remember, that Carolina Drilling Blast of the Front Award goes to the highest finishing non-tour type modified winner in this race. And by the way, it's never too early to start planning for your future, and it's never too late to assure that you and your family are prepared for what life may bring. Thankfully, Bankers Life has agents who are eager to get to know you personally, listen to your concerns and priorities, and fully understand what you and your family needs. To find an agent that is best suited for your needs, visit their website at bankerslife.com. Insurance solutions, retirement planning, financial management, and everything in between. That's Bankers Life, bankerslife.com. There's the Citrus Safe Choose Cone. By the way, if you love grilling, you gotta love Citrus Safe. One of the best grill cleaners in the business. You can get it at Walmart, Lowe's, you name it. So right now it looks like the front row stays as they ran. Burt Myers to the inside, Brian Lofton to the outside. Bobby Labonte, who has had a wicked good run so far in this race. Remember, we're just 30 laps in. We got 70 more to go. And Bobby Labonte already up to that 4th spot. Jonathan Brown locking down that 3rd spot. And at Amerifast number 24, Jason Myers running in 5th. And 6th place is the guy that started on the point in that Jerry Hunt Super Center, number 25 for the Rocket, Tim Brown, rebounding here as we get into the laps, as the laps wear on here in this 100-lap affair. Eighth through 10th, Brandon Ward, Jeremy Gerstner, and Dennis Holdren, the Roanoke, Virginia driver. Coming back to the green on lap number 30, JB puts the green flag in the air. Brian Lofton hanging tough in the 15 on that outside, the Shady Grady racing car. Jonathan Brown might fill the hole, though, looking to the inside to pick off second. Can't do it. They go single file into turn number 1. We go back in the field, just a little bit of contact there between a couple of drivers, and that knocked Bobby Labonte back a couple of spots. So Jeremy Gerstner, Zach Brewer, Jason Myers, and Bobby Labonte all involved in quite the tussle there, and that knocks Bobby Labonte back a couple of spots. Zach Brewer with a good run as well in this race, solidly into the top 10 right now, as Zach Brewer said his car was just a little bit off, but they were still happy with their qualifying run. He started in the 13th spot, and now Brewer solidly in the top 5. Look at this battle right here. Jeremy Gerstner in the 55 on the outside, kind of trapped up there. And a great run for the kid, Riley Neal, who started way back in this field. Gerstner falling back, and we got one spinning on the front stretch. Dennis Holdren, who had been in the top 10 in that ride, spins on the front stretch to bring out the caution once again. Second caution in this Warrior 100, powered by Pace-O-Matic. Dennis Holdren certainly looking forward to South Boston Speedway next week. We hope you can join us up there, the home of the Bologna Burger. You got to get yourself a Bologna Burger when you go up there to South Boston Speedway, one of the finest tracks in the Southeast. 99 laps will be the distance for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic next Saturday night under the lights at South Boston Speedway in Virginia. For all the North Carolina contingent that is here in the crowd at Caraway Speedway, we will be at Hickory Motor Speedway on April 15th. Let's take a look at the Flow Racing replay of what happened to Dennis Holdren. Not sure if there was contact. He was on the inside of another car coming down the front stretch, and this is our speed shot here. Maybe a little contact, but not positive by that view there with Jimmy Wallace in the 21. Thank you to Matt and everybody from Flow Racing. Not my brother Matt, but Matt Smith here to my right, hanging out with the Flow bunch tonight, and they do so much for racing. We got cars on pit road right now, including the man that started first coming to the green, Tim Brown in the 25. So Tim Brown, 6 wins in Tour Type Modified competition at Caraway Speedway. Got a very good race car. But right now, remember, they're allowed 1 tire, but they can also swap tires on that race car. Carson Lofton in the 23 is in. Gary Young Jr. in the 45. Cody Norman in the white number 12. We haven't mentioned him. Cody Norman making his first Tour Type Modified start in the Smart Modified Series. Last year's Carolina Crate Modified champion. A little bit nervous earlier in the day, but I think he's doing just fine here. Mike Norman, his dad. Caleb Heddy, by the way, in the 7NY, one of those cars that came down pit road. Jeremy Gerstner as well. Gerstner was slipping back in that 55 machine. The Flying Floridian had moved all the way up to 6th and was falling outside the top 10 at this caution. Brian Weber has that 0-1 on pit road. Jason Tutterow in the 22. So a whole host of cars coming down. And why not? If you're running a little bit further back, come down, make some changes to that car, hopefully make it better. There's still a long way to go in this Warrior 100. Hood is off on Cody Norman's machine as he comes down pit road. Saw some steam coming from the radiator area. That car appears to be overheating a little bit. So Cody Norman, first race. Big race for him. He's still going to be competing to go back-to-back with titles in the Carolina Crate Modified Series this year, but is going to be testing the waters in the Tour Type Modified competition this year. Right now it appears that Smart Modified Tour officials are looking for possible fluid coming from a car. They have Burt Myers stopped here on the front stretch, and they made him stop in the Victory Lane area where there's a lot of white from that checkered flag painted on the racetrack, trying to see if there's any fluid coming from the bottom end of that. From our vantage point here in the tower, you cannot see anything. They waved Burt Myers by. He'll go back out there. They just stopped Brian Lofton as well, who is running second in this race. So somebody behind the top 2 cars called out they think some fluid is coming from one of those cars. So Smart Modified Tour officials wanted to make sure that no fluid was coming from those top 2 cars. Want to invite everybody to check out the social media experience, Short Track Life as well, an official partner of the Smart Modified Tour. And one of the cool things that Short Track Life is doing right now is they have, if you're a fan of March Madness and all this basketball going on, maybe you're a fan of filling out brackets. And right now you can fill out a bracket that has the top 32 Southern Modified drivers of all time. Now, there's a lot of debate there, but the folks from Short Track Life hired somebody to make up that list, a professional, the top 32 drivers of all time with seedings. That bracket can be found on social media. And on Monday, the voting will start on Twitter to narrow down to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, the Final 4, and then the championship round for the top 32 Southern Modified Tour drivers of all time. I shouldn't say tour because it's tour racing as well as weekly racing like at Bowman Gray Stadium. So the Southern Modified Bracket Challenge, check it out. Social media experience, Short Track Life. By the way, I want to say thank you to Autos by Nelson, Southern Virginia's largest auto group with over 1,000 new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. The official pace truck provider for the Smart Modified Tour. Going green next time by. Gotta love that speed shot. And folks, if you're watching on Flow Racing, we hope to see you at South Boston Speedway next Saturday, April 1st. But at the same time, if you have to watch on Flow Racing, that's good. We might have a special treat for you as well that we are working on for all of our coverage. We all want to make this the best it can be. We love modified racing. It is an art form in American motorsports. Burt Myers, Brian Lofton, the front row once again. The open wheel Warriors go green again here at Caraway. Brian Lofton, good run on the outside, but that preferred lane is where Burt Myers' #1 machine is. He has it on the bottom side of this track. Lofton's got to try to close the door on Jonathan Brown, cannot do it. Jonathan Brown, John Boy to the inside. The 24 goes up to second, and now Lofton under fire by the 79 of Zach Brewer. Bobby Labonte in the 18 trying to make his way up further through the field, but he's losing spots. Bobby Labonte now 9th at the line, but the car right in front of him. What a good run for the 07 of Riley Neal. The new deal coming through the field. And think about it. Riley Neal started all the way back in 22nd, and now he's riding in the 8th spot in that 07 machine. Great run by the young kid. And you can tell I'm bringing my dirt late model out a little bit. You know, it's not the new deal. It's the real deal, Riley Neal. But I'm very impressed by this kid. He's come a long way, and listen, this is a good racetrack for him. Riley Neal knows this racetrack, a limited late model winner here, and he tested here several times. Bobby Labonte, how about that? Bobby Labonte a little bit further back here, coming off of turn number 4. We see Lofton and Jason Myers battling for position, but we like to talk about the battle between the 18 and the 07 and the 2. Bobby Labonte just passed Riley Neal. Brandon Ward is there as well. Remember, a couple of those cars came down pit road. Brandon Ward leading that charge right now. So Ward trying to work his way back up through the front of the field, but that 07 of Riley Neal, I'm just impressed by that driver as Jonathan Cash going to the inside of him right now. Oh, contact down in the corner between Jonathan Cash, and he's got a problem with that Pace-O-Matic number 39. Trying to gather things up. Daniel Yates went by. The caution comes out. And a little contact between the teammates, Jason Tutterow and Jimmy Wallace as well. Remember, in that last caution, several drivers coming down pit road, and the driver that has charged to the front the most, Bobby Meismer Jr., he is now back up to the 7th spot after running in the top 5 early in this race. Bobby Meismer Jr., we've known him around the modified ranks for the last decade, 12 years, something like that. But he is definitely known as a driver, one of the most successful drivers at the old Concord Speedway, which we miss dearly for sure, not just for modified racing, but for all of short track racing. 63 wins for Bobby Meismer at that racetrack. That's third only to Freddie Query and Jack Sprague. You talk about some important company right there. Bobby Meismer Jr. in all sorts of race cars. A lot of success at the old Concord Speedway. Here come a host of cars. Zach Brewer in the number 79. Jason Myers in the number 4. Cody Norman as well. And there is Zach Brewer in the Hillbilly Racing ride. One of the famous racing rides. Carson Lofton in the 23. Tim Brown back on pit road in that orange and white 25, as well as Jason Poole. The Giant in with that 75 car. Bobby Labonte in that cookout machine, making adjustments. Caleb Hetty for the second time in this race on pit road. Caleb Hetty, that car not to his liking just yet. Jimmy Wallace in the number 21. Cowboy Sauls stop down there. They're checking Burt Myers for fluid on the back end of that machine again. Somebody, I would say, my assumption is somebody reporting that they believe fluid is being laid down on the racetrack. Now, we did see Cody Norman overheating a little bit. That is a possible candidate for somebody that's putting something down on the racetrack, but officials have looked. They don't see anything coming as they pull the cars to the inside and check them out. Now, we mentioned Burt Myers' 2 victories here. Burt Myers now coming down pit road. That number 1 machine, maybe they're going around the hood area trying to figure out maybe he indeed was trailing some fluid on that Citrus Safe racing car. The hood is up, so trouble for the leader. Burt Myers has dominated this race so far, 42 laps in, still just shy of the halfway point, and Burt Myers and his team looking underneath the hood of that PSR race car. See Bobby Labonte in that Pace-O-Matic cookout machine. Nope, it's Jonathan Cash actually pulling on pit road. Cowboy Sauls also on pit road. Jeremy Gerstner back. They got the right side of the car jacked up on rookie Carson Lofton. Looks like they're making some changes underneath the rear end of that car. There is Carson Lofton. We told you 14 years old and just poised beyond his years is Carson Lofton. The kid could definitely win a race this year on the Smart Modified Tour. And Riley Neal putting in a good performance, the other rookie in the field. It's a family affair for the Lofton family. His grandpa has been working on that. You see him at the back of the field looking underneath that race car. His dad starts on the front row for this next restart. Jonathan Brown will be scored your leader at the Citrus Safe restart cone. He chose the inside. That's the preferred line around this .455 mile oval, Caraway Speedway. So now the running order looks like this. 42 laps in. Jonathan Brown, your leader, in 24. The 15 of Brian Lofton, second. Jason Myers in third. Zach Brewer in fourth. Fifth place now, first time we've mentioned him, the 02 of Joey Coulter. Bobby Meismer Jr. back in the 7th spot. Bobby Labonte came down pit road. Coming to the Pace-O-Matic restart zone when we fire the engines off of turn number 4. Carson Lofton off of pit road at the tail end of the field. Oh, bottlenecked here. Cars all over the place. A slow start by Jonathan Brown sends Dennis Holdren scattering on this restart. But Jonathan Brown trying to squeeze Brian Lofton. He did indeed on the backstretch. Lofton settles in, a little love tap to say, don't do that again, Jonathan Brown. John Boy 3 wide down the front stretch here. Look at Bobby Labonte, Riley Neal involved there. Zach Brewer as well in the 79. Dennis Holdren checks up as Zach Brewer comes down the racetrack a little bit. Brewer now to the inside and contact with the rookie Riley Neal. Wow, some interesting racing here. A little bit further back in the field, Riley Neal holds down the 7th spot, and Zach Brewer wants it. Brewer's gonna get it. Brewer back up to 7th. Up front here, oh, we got a car stopped in turn number 2 to bring out another caution. I believe the 5th caution of the race. So says my stat boy. Get a correction by stat boy, my son, Luke. 4th caution of this race. And that's for Cowboy Saul, stopped up in turn number 2. Want to give a big shout out to MJ Printing and Graphics. Since 1983, MJ Printing and Graphics has provided affordable custom options for all your printing and graphic design needs. Whether it be screen printing for clothing or apparel, decals, banners, vehicle graphics, you name it. For your car, truck, or motorcycle, MJ Printing and Graphics promises to deliver on what you want, because that's where it all starts. Let MJ Printing and Graphics bring your idea and design to life. Visit them online, mjcustomprinting.com. That's mjcustomprinting.com. 5 laps short of the halfway point in this race. And Bankers Life is the presenting sponsor of that Halfway Leader Award, and also the presenting sponsor of the Smarty Trophy that will be awarded to the winner of the Warrior 100 tonight here at Caraway. Brian Weber, the wave around on this one. He gets the free pass, the 0-1 of Brian Weber. Still a couple of races to come up after the Smart Modified race, including the bootleggers. I think that's what they call them here. And I'm excited to watch these Crown Vics around this racetrack. Going to try to get a ride maybe next time I come to Caraway. There was one guy, a red car, going around this racetrack all sideways. Action on pit road by that speed shot right there. You see Riley Neal, who forfeits a top 10 run right now to come down pit road, make some adjustments, possibly, yes, indeed, change a tire on that race car. So that's the first time Riley Neal has been on pit road. By the way, Burt Myers on pit road as well. Remember, the early race dominator, championship contender on pit road, hood up on that race car. We believe that car might have been trailing some fluid, and that's why he's on pit road. You see the 7NY of Caleb Heddy shooting down pit road past Riley Neal as well. Interesting thing for that 7NY who's heading off of pit road and going to turn number 2 right now. Caleb Heddy has had so much success here in that Tommy Baldwin Racing ride, defending winner of this race, but 7 races here at Caraway Speedway in Tour Type Modified competition, 7 top 5 runs, so not what we expected out of Caleb Heddy out of Kentucky here tonight so far. The Citrus Safe restart cone, the choose cone out at the start-finish line as we look at the driver that's sponsored by Citrus Safe, the number 1 out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. 8-time winner in the Smart Modified Tour. Hasn't won since 2004. Don't mention that to Bert. He doesn't like talking about it. Remember, there was a big gap in competition with the Smart Modified Tour. 2005 is when the NASCAR Will and Southern Modified Tour came in. Then there was several different editions of Tour Type Modified Racing. The old SMRS series, PRA, you had the ASA Tour, just all sorts of iterations of Tour Type Modified Racing. But thank you to Chris Williams, who brought back the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. And it's because of Chris and the efforts of people like J.B. Cole, Justin Mincy, several other people here that help Chris with this tour and do a good job. And this tour is growing by leaps and bounds every single year. The 4th year of competition, since Chris Williams brought back the Smart Modified Tour, and we're right smack dab in the middle of it with the second race of the year here at Caraway. Remember, next week we head to South Boston next Saturday night, April 15th. Hickory Motor Speedway will have some special treats for you there as well. And next week, bologna burgers and all. It'll be a packed crowd, and it'll be a lot of fun at South Boston Speedway. A lot of great racing here at Caraway Speedway this year as well. I understand. I think Randy was talking about Ladies' Night coming up here in a couple of weeks. Got to be part of that. Back to green just prior to the halfway point here in the Smart Modified Tour Warrior 100. Jonathan Brown, Brian Lofton going at it for the lead. Lofton, the best run he's had yet. Lofton strong on the outside. Knows how to win here. 2 times a winner in Smart Modified competition. But just like every other restart, he relinquishes that challenge for the lead. Fades back, a little contact between Brandon Ward. Ward moves into second here. Lap 46 in the Warrior 100. Battle for third. Look at Daniel Yates. Daniel Yates with a great run. Look at that 18 car moving into third. Remember, Brian Lofton has not pitted just yet. He's got a tire sitting in the pit area. If we get a caution late in this race, I guarantee you'll see that 15 on pit road. Here's a battle. Zach Brewer, Bobby Labonte. Right now battling for the 5th spot. Labonte loses it. Brewer moves up a spot. Here comes Meismer Jr. as well. And that Chico's Battle Bonds number 14. Dennis Holdren in the 07. You see that black car just behind Bobby Labonte. Having a good run as well. Remember, he spun earlier in this race, but Dennis Holdren locking down the 8th spot so far. The Rocket Tim Brown right behind him in 9th. That Jerry Hunt Super Center, number 25. And behind him, Jason Myers lurking in the number 4. Does Myers have anything in that car to make a run in the last half of this race? By the way, the Bankers Life halfway leader in this race, Jonathan Brown, looking for his second Smart Tour victory at Caraway Speedway. Brandon Ward took on a tire a little while ago, charged through the field. Bobby Meismer was on the charge for a while, but Brandon Ward really made a run out of it. Jonathan Brown and Brian Lofton still have yet to take on a tire. Both of those drivers saving that tire, which might amount for a run late in this race. Here's Bobby Meismer Jr. going by Brian Lofton. So does Bobby Labonte. So they move up a spot. Lofton falling back outside of the top 5 right now. So Bobby Labonte looking good in the cookout number 18. Dennis Holdren as well. Lofton still hanging tough, trying to keep that track position. Dennis Holdren with trouble off of turn number 2, slipped up a little bit, trying to gather things back up at the 07. Your top 10 looks like this right now. You see the ticker on the top of your screen on Flow Racing. It's Jonathan Brown in the 24, leading this race. Brandon Ward in the 2 in second. Third place, Daniel Yates, his first Smart Modified Tour run of the year in third. Zach Brewer in fourth, and Bobby Meismer Jr. in fifth. Sixth, Bobby Labonte. Brian Lofton back to seventh. Tim Brown in eighth. Joey Coulter rides ninth, and Jason Myers in 10th. Going around the slower car of Brian Weber. Precarious moments for Bobby Labonte, Brian Lofton, and Joey Coulter. Hey, how about that 02 car? That gray ghost, as I like to call it. Good-looking ride this year for Joey Coulter out of Florida. Coulter, winner in the Revolutionary 99 last June here at Caraway Speedway. We'll be back, I believe it's on July 1st, for another running of the Revolutionary 99. Now Coulter looking to the inside of Brian Lofton. Tim Brown going to fill the hole as well. They go by the speed shot on the front stretch. Joey Coulter picks up the spot. He's up to 7th. And here comes the Rocket, Tim Brown as well. Tim Brown, 12 championships at Bowman Gray Stadium. That season starts April 22nd with another running of the Hayes Jewelers 200. That can be seen live on Flow Racing as well. I'm proud that Matthew Dillner, my brother, will be calling all the action for Flow Racing once again this year at Bowman Gray Stadium. Back to the front. I thought Brandon Ward was going to make a run on Jonathan Brown, but Brown's so steady in that Amerifast number 24. "62 laps in 63 now scored. Bobby Meismer Jr. trying to hold on. Joey Coulter making a little run right now. Coulter looking good in that SRI Performance 02 machine. And Joey Coulter is that sort of racer. He's like a stealth bomber. He can survive to the end of the race and then go on the attack, and that's what he's doing here tonight. Remember, we saw him on pit road. He already took his tire to the inside of Bobby Meismer. He goes. Battle for 5th right now, no longer. Made it look easy. Joey Coulter up to 5th over Bobby Meismer. A battle between the Hermes Sadler race cars right here. Bobby Labonte gives it up to Jonathan Cash. So Cash moving through the field as well. Something awry on the handling for Bobby Labonte's machine because he charged hard and fading just a little bit. Jonathan Cash picks up that 9th spot over Bobby Labonte, moving back to 10th. Jason Myers now. Also, look at this. Battle for the lead just as the caution comes out. Zach Brewer started to look to the inside. And for the 5th time tonight, the caution flag flies here for the Warrior 100. The question now is to pit or not to pit for 2 drivers in particular. The leader, Jonathan Brown of the 24, and the 15 of Brian Lofton, run up front in this race the entire event so far. Lofton now back in 7th. Jonathan Brown still leading. I would think with this many laps left, it's a gamble if you're going to wait. We saw what we didn't expect at Florence Motor Speedway in South Carolina for the opening event on March 4th. A caution with 8 laps to go, and everybody came down pit road. Looks like the wave around will be Jason Poole once again. Jeremy Gerstner down pit road. Jonathan Brown and Brian Lofton did not come down pit road. I think we're going to see a bunch of activity on pit road. It looks like a bunch of cars are headed in that direction, including leader Jonathan Brown. 2nd place running Brandon Ward. 3rd place Daniel Yates. 4th place Zach Brewer. Bobby Meismer. Brian Lofton. Tim Brown's down pit road again. Bobby Labonte was feeding. Jonathan Cash as well. Jason Myers. Okay, it might be easier to talk about the cars that didn't come down pit road, because the leader of this race at the next restart will be the 02 machine of Joey Coulter. Coulter was running in the 5th spot, and now Coulter will be behind the pace truck here, coming back to the green flag for the restart. So an interesting strategy type move for Harold Holly, the crew chief on Joey Coulter's machine. Will it pay off? He's going to have a lot of guys that are making changes and changing rubber. Remember, this is a live pit road. How you come off is how you're going to restart. So last week we saw Caleb Hetty lose some spots on pit road. Matt Hirschman capitalized on it in the season opening event at Florence. So as it stands right now, we look trackside. Joey Coulter will lead this one. I believe Riley Neal will be second in the 07 machine. Riley Neal was on the lead lap at the tail end of that, but he will be second for this restart. Third place will be the first car off of pit road, which appears to be the number 2 machine of Brandon Ward. Fourth place will be the 24 for the leader at the time of the caution, Jonathan Brown. Behind that, Bobby Meismer Jr. Good pit stop for that ZMAX Lubricants machine. So he will have a good starting spot for this restart. Now, everybody's made their changes. Everybody has gotten that one tire. How will things shake out? Strategy is a big player in this race, and Joey Coulter and Harold Holly played their cards. They now lead this race in the SRI Performance number 02. We have a massive amount of staff up here in the booth. Our statisticians going to work. Lap 42, we are told, is when Joey Coulter pitted. There have been 4 different leaders of this race, by my calculations. Burt Myers led a good chunk of this race. Now Joey Coulter leads. Jonathan Brown and Brian Lofton as well. Off of turn number 4, they will come back to the Pace-O-Matic restart zone. Joey Coulter, Riley Neal on the front row for this one. 32 laps left in the Warrior 100. They fire. Riley Neal trying not to get that jump on Joey Coulter. The green flag waves again. Definitely the veteran took the rookie to school there on the restart. Riley Neal going to lose several spots. Burt Myers trying to make his way back up as well. Burt Myers never lost a lap. And now Myers right in the middle of a storm right there. Zach Brewer to his inside. This is a battle around the 7th and 8th spot right now. Caleb Hetty back there as well in the 7NY. Daniel Yates in the 18 as high as 3rd in this race. There is Hetty. He gets by Riley Neal. Riley Neal definitely going to school right now. That kid learning a lot. Oh, and he gives a little bump to Caleb Hetty. Maybe not too happy with that 7NY here at this stage of the game. 29 laps to go. Burt Myers charging through this field. You light a fire underneath Burt Myers, you know what? And he can drive the wheels off a race car, and he's doing it right now. Early race dominator in this one. Now Burt Myers trying to get to 6th. Looking to the inside of Zach Brewer. Can't get it done there. Tim Brown coming alive as well in the 25, that orange and white car. Here comes Burt Myers. Can't get it done. We fade back a little bit. There's Carson Lofton in the 23. Carson Lofton Trying to work his way back up through the field. Brian Lofton, his dad in the 15, gets by Caleb Hetty. So Lofton making a charge as well. Brian Lofton, that is. Lofton up into a top 10 spot. There's the number 1 car of Burt Myers. We're taking a look at that. We also have our eyes glued just in case to the lead duo. Joey Coulter leads. Right now, Brandon Ward on the racetrack. Let's go to the lead. Here we go. Burt Myers also looking. We don't know where to look. We need a double box here, Flow Racing. Help us out. We got to work on that. Because right now, Joey Coulter under fire from Brandon Ward. And then we go also to this battle right here for the 6th spot. A little bump from Burt Myers to Zach Brewer. Says, all right, pick up the pace. Old Teddy Christopher had the rule, the 3-tap rule. You don't want to get to tap number 3. Back to the front. Brandon Ward putting some pressure on Joey Coulter. We don't know where to go. Great job by our Flow Racing team. But look at this, a little wiggle by Joey Coulter. Coulter coming down the front stretch. And Brandon Ward is there. 22 to go. And Coulter holding on for dear life. Now a little sigh of relief. We say that. Now we go back to another battle here. Tim Brown in the 25 car battling with, a little wiggle there by Jonathan Brown. This is getting good late in the going for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Tim Brown trying to take over 4th from Jonathan Brown. No relation between those two guys, despite their last name. Brown, Tim Brown, dives it into the corner. And you can tell the handling has gone away on the 24 of John Boy. Bobby Meismer right in front of that in the 14. Here comes Brown. The Rocket took a look to the inside, but Jason Tutterow, slower car is there. So is Cowboy Sauls in the 21. Here comes Tim Brown. Nope, not going to get it done. Sees that 21, thinks better of it. Ask and you shall receive. We go to the double box here on Flow Racing. So that way you can keep an eye on what's going on the left side of your screen with the lead. A little gap now between Joey Coulter and Brandon Ward, but a good battle for that 4th spot. Oh, Tim Brown almost knocked Jonathan Brown up the track in turn number 3, and now Tim Brown gets it sideways coming off the corner. Here's the gap between 1st and 2nd. 15 laps to go in this one. Joey Coulter extending that lead over Brandon Ward. The tires have equalized at this stage of the game. Burt Myers, by the way, still has not gotten by Zach Brewer for 6th. He charged hard, maybe the rubber falling off of that Burt Myers Citrus Safe Racing number 1 machine. Brewer in the Hillbilly Racing Ride holding down that spot. Got a shot here. Can he play his cards right? Yates can't get it done. Back to the lead we go. There's, wait a second. Producer Matt Smith says, look at this. Burt Myers tried it. Now we go back to the lead. Joey Coulter and some other battles as well in the race. We got the 14 car of Bobby Meismer Jr. under fire. Meismer running in the 3rd spot. Jonathan Brown just behind him, and Tim Brown as well. There it is on our Flow Racing broadcast. Bobby Meismer starting to slow up just a little bit. Looking for a good run here today. He needs to rebound after a tough outing at Florence Motor Speedway on March 4th. Meismer's best finish here at Smart Competition is 6th. He did have a 2nd place run in SMRS competition back in 2017. Brandon Ward closing in again on the leader, Joey Coulter. We're going to go back to the double box here because there's too much action going on. Right side of your screen, Meismer, that battle with that 14, Jonathan Brown of the 24 behind him, of the 25, and Tim Brown behind that. Zach Brewer, oh, look at this contact between Brandon Ward and Joey Coulter. Ward to the inside. Oh, little contact there as well. Joey Coulter gonna lose the lead that lap, but Coulter fights back on the outside, hits the brakes, locks him up in turn number 1. Brandon Ward, the new leader of this race. 7 laps to go in this one. Now 6 laps to go. Can Brandon Ward hold on for his first Smart Modified Tour win at Caraway Speedway? He's 3 times a winner here in other Tour type modified competition. Back to the battle for third. Bobby Meismer Jr. driving his heart out in the 14. Holding off with 5 laps to go. Jonathan Brown and Tim Brown. 3rd, 4th, and 5th right here. Tim Brown trying to get underneath Jonathan Brown. John Boy squeezes him a little bit here in traffic at Caraway Speedway. Now Jonathan Brown sideways is the 24. There is Tim Brown. The Rocket grabs the spot. Move Tim Brown up to 4th. Zach Brewer on the hunt as well in this 79. Brewer going to the inside of John Boy. Battle for 4th. Everybody losing grip in the late stages of this race. 3 laps to go. Look at Brewer go to the inside, trying to, oh, close call right there for Jonathan Brown. But 2 to go in this one. This time by the white flag in the air by Jeff Button. Brandon Ward trying to hold on. Joey Coulter closing in. Can he make a run? They got some slower cars. Carson Lofton gets out of the way. Caleb Hetty, the defending winner of the race, right in front of the leader. Joey Coulter trying to close in. Can't get it done. Brandon Ward, for the first time in Smart Series history in his career, is a winner at Caraway. How about that? What a race in the Warrior 100. Brandon Ward wins. Joey Coulter in 2nd. Bobby Meismer in 3rd. Tim Brown in 4th. And Zach Brewer rounds out the top 5.
Attention in the pits. We need our next division, the U-Car division. U-Cars, get ready to race. U-Cars, get ready to race. They're coming out next, followed by the bootleggers. U-Cars, get ready to come out on the pit road, followed by the bootleggers.
And gentlemen, how about oh, got a lot. Work
Check 1, 2.
Brandon Ward in victory lane. Congratulations to the New Day Motorsports team. What a great ride. And fans, how about that? What a whale of a race today here in the Warrior 100 at Caraway Speedway for the Southern Modified Tour, the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. For the fourth time in his career, Brandon Ward is a Tour-type modified winner at Caraway Speedway. And it was a hard-fought battle with Joey Coulter, some contact for sure, but that is good old modified racing. And we saw some great battles in the top 10 here tonight. The great fans of Caraway Speedway, put your hands together for Brandon Ward, the winner of the Warrior 100.
One, two, check 1, 2.
Man, there's nobody here I'd rather race than Joey. Excellent race car driver, and to have our two team cars 1 and 2 tonight. I mean, obviously we want to win, and I know Joey did too. Last time we were here, Joey did win, so that's 2 races in a row. A Coulter Motorsports car has been in victory lane, and till about 20 to go, even after we stopped, I couldn't really catch him. I could maintain, but even with a better tire, they were really good. Harold and those guys did a great job. But Randy Renfro, this entire Coulter Motorsports team, I can't say enough about them. I just want to thank them so much for having me back this year. Joe and Susan Coulter, Joey, all of them that are a part of me being in this race car. Randy Renfro prepares great race cars, man. Kevin Powell, Jeff Day, for all they do for me, supporting me on this program. KevinCHS.com, Precision Built Spindles. I couldn't do it without all the support. Robert Yates Racing Engines. This pit crew, man, they're amazing. They work hard. They do a great job. Just can't thank those guys enough for for getting us off pit road like they do and giving us a chance to go and work hard for it at the end.
Let's talk more about that battle, though, between you and Joey Coulter. Trading paints a little bit. It's modified racing, especially here at Caraway.
Yeah, he got loose, and I got into the left rear, and I thought he'd spun. I backpedaled it to try to let him gather it up because I definitely didn't want it to go down like that. But I knew it was going to come down to really track position. I felt like whichever one of us was in front of the other could hold the other one back and run a little faster there. The race pace and the strategy kind of felt a little different than I thought. I didn't really want to pit at lap 30, but we were just too free all night. Even there after we took a tire, we were filming on the video. I'm almost just too loose to make the run that we need to run. But we're able to make it happen. Like I said, great race car. This thing's pretty solid everywhere we go. To get a win this early in the season is pretty big. Thanks to Flo, Pace-O-Matic, my man Lloyd right here up on top of the tower. He had his work cut out for him tonight with all the lap traffic and having to work back to the field. So thanks to everybody that makes this happen. Chris and all the guys with the Smart Tour, you Bob for coming on board with us this year. We really appreciate everything.
And now look at the trophy that you get here. The Smarty Trophy. Thank you to Justin for presenting and manufacturing that trophy right there, because it is one of the finest trophies in all of American motorsports. And tonight it belongs to Brandon Ward.
That's the way racing is supposed to be. Fun right there.
Good stuff.
Good
job.
Appreciate it.
1, 2. Test 1, 2. All right. We got a microphone here. That's a good thing. And I promise you we'll talk to Brandon Ward real briefly here because the fans in the grandstands deserve to hear from the winner of this race. Taking some pictures here in Pace-O-Matic Victory Lane. Look at that beautiful Smarty trophy brought to you by Jostens. Brandon Ward drove his butt off today. A battle with Joey Coulter. We'll talk to him here just momentarily as well. Good finish for Joey Coulter. Almost went back-to-back with wins here at Caraway. Tell you what, I'm not going to chance it. Come right over here real quick. For the fans here, what was that what was that battle like for the win here tonight?
It was definitely hard fought. It was, nobody here I'd rather race for a win than Joey Coulter in our team car. Him and Harold did a great job with that 02 machine tonight. Randy Renfro, as always, and this race team did a great job with this 2 car. Unloaded with speed today. We fought being too free all night long, and had to pit and work on it. Had to make adjustments both stops, but these guys on pit road did an amazing job. Just can't thank Randy, Joe, and Susan Coulter, Joey Coulter, Harold, everybody with this group that makes the decisions that make these things go, and Randy Renfro, everything he does for me. Jeff Day, Kevin Powell, Precision Built Spindle, KevinSaysYes.com, Coulter Motorsports, everybody. This is a big deal.
Big deal indeed, and he is a championship contender this year in the Smart Modified Tour. Powered by Test 1, 2. All right, we've been having fun with this microphone all night long. We're going to stay right here. Joey Coulter, you had the lead. One of your buddies here challenged you. What was that battle like? Hold on. I don't think we're on. Let's move. Microphone. You should. All right, hold on. We might here. Let's talk about that battle.
I mean, that was awesome. It's just an awesome night. I mean, great Rum Runner racing car. I'm super pumped for this whole Rum Runner Racing Coulter Motorsports group. I mean, we played a little bit different pit strategy just to try something different and get our track position, and I felt really good about it. I think without lap traffic, I felt like we were pretty even. But lap cars are part of the challenge sometimes, and it's awesome. I've been racing against Brandon since I was 15 or 16 years old, and I just told him, I said, man, back then I didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't keep up with you, so it's awesome to be able to race with him like that and rub bumpers and stuff like that. It's awesome, and just real glad it's them if it can't be us.
We're not gonna. Joey Coulter, good ride tonight. I don't know where we. Oh. Hello. We might have it. Bobby Meismer.
All right, we got. All right, now we got it again. Hey, 3rd place run. I mean, what can I say? It's like a win for us. I mean, heck of a day. Fast in practice. I think 4th quick in practice, and back that up with the pole. And